Welcome to my Moxie life. This is my COVID story. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Martha and I am a flight attendant at a major US airline. Y'all know who I work for. But anyway, all the things I'm going to talk about are my experience, my opinions, and my viewpoints. Nothing from my company. And let's move ahead. So let's get into what it was like to have COVID-19. All right, so let's rewind back to 2020 when all this whole nonsense started in March, when people started first finding out that they were getting COVID and getting very sick, and people stopped traveling. Basically, everyone was recommended to stay home. We're all quarantined, we're all on lockdown. Everything was shut down. So at that point, travel was really, really weird, and I stopped flying a little bit just of my own accord because my company gave me the time off. It was just very easy to take the time off at that point because nobody was flying. So at that time, they offered different amounts of time off. I think it was you could take 1 month at a time or 2 months at a time, and I took 2 months. So at that point, I took June and July. No, I took May and June off. I went back to work for July and August. So I took May and June off, went back to work for July and August. It was still very, very odd, but I was being very, very careful. Always wearing masks and, trying to stay away from big groups of people, and especially indoors. But nothing was open. You couldn't really go anywhere anyway, so it wasn't really a big deal. I worked those 2 months, and then the company offered another option where you could take 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months off. And at that time, if you go back and look at my old videos, I did work for Instacart and shipped, doing some grocery delivery. I was still very, very careful. My family did not go anywhere. We didn't do anything in big groups. We didn't go to church. We didn't have any big parties. We didn't do anything for Thanksgiving. Or Christmas, really. I can't, honestly, it all kind of is a blur, but, so we were all healthy. My family and my very close friend group, nobody I knew of in that group had gotten sick. Actually, the first month went really well. So, everything has been going pretty smoothly. I was on a mission once the vaccine was released to take the vaccine, because I had been doing Instacart and had pay stubs from Instacart. I was able to get in as a grocery worker. So go figure. I don't know why I couldn't get in as a flight attendant, but I could as a grocery worker. I got the Moderna shot. I really had no side effects other than a bit of a sore arm, and maybe I was a little bit tired after the second one, but other than that, nothing really of consequence. So I've been working in the public. The planes have been packed to the brim. So it's not like I have stayed away from people, but I have not gotten sick, nothing. But probably starting in the early summer, I was noticing some allergies. Certain places you go, there's just different plants and stuff, and it triggers, a little bit of sneezing, whatever. So in July, I was flying on a trip, and I had noticed a little bit of a kind of a dry cough before I left, and just chalked it up to allergies. I get them. It happens. Not a big deal. I didn't feel bad. I didn't have a sore throat. It was just kind of like that, And so that kind of persisted. I was going on a 3-day reserve trip. And throughout that weekend, I had a little bit of a runny nose, feeling like I must have allergies. I had been sneezing a little bit and, blowing my nose, but I really wasn't thinking anything of it because I was vaccinated. And also because we didn't hang out with anybody ever. We had our own little bubble. It was my family and about 3 friends who were all vaccinated, and we really didn't go anywhere, go out to dinner or do anything like that. On the last day, 3rd day, we got back pretty early. And so I was able to catch my commute home. When I got to my car to drive home, I usually take out a snack or something to eat on the way, or I'll stop and get something to eat. And so I pulled out a protein bar and a drink, or I think it was just my water. And I started eating my protein bar, and I was like, I cannot taste this. And it wasn't just a vague taste or it tasted weird. It was literally nothing. Like your brain is like trying to like process like what food you're eating, and there was no information coming through my brain. I was like, oh, this is weird. And then I realized like no smell either. So when I woke up in the morning, I was actually feeling pretty down and out. Like I was feeling real tired, real beat up. So I was like, this does not seem good. My temperature wasn't really up, crazy amount. But I have a pretty low temperature, like generally. So I don't know. But anyway, so I went to the urgent care, and they come out to your car, and it was really, really simple. They, you fill out your little stuff, and then they, take your temperature. My temperature was up at that point. It was not high, maybe like just under 100. And and then the doctor comes out, or whoever, like they switch spots, and then they do the little swab. And honestly, like I was shocked because I was so thankful that they did it for me, because I'm like, I don't know if I can stick it up there. Although I have tested once before. But it was so lovely. She just like swoop, 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 swoop. I was like, oh, thank you for touching my brain with your cute. I mean, I don't even think it was 15 minutes. They came back and they're like, yep, you're definitely positive. But I was still shocked because I have no idea how I got it. There was one family member that wasn't feeling well the week before, but they never got tested. So I don't really know for sure that that's the origin. So here's my symptoms. So started out with, kind of, I don't know if what was happening over the weekend was symptoms. I can't say yay or nay. And this is part of why it took me so long to talk about it really at all, was because when I did call in, I told them that I was having these symptoms, even though I don't know that they were COVID related. It kind of put up a red flag. And so they like had to talk to me and ask me like, were you traveling knowing you had COVID? And I was like mortified. I was thinking I was going to lose my job. I was like, absolutely not. I would never do that. Like I've been so careful to not, be around people or infect anyone. So that was kind of scary, and I was a little stressed out before that meeting. So that's why I really haven't talked about it much, because I was kind of like in this limbo of like, am I going to be in trouble? Like, cause I had a runny nose. so anyway, so now, I have no idea if those symptoms were related or not. So here's how I felt. I was extremely exhausted. That was my main, I would say my main symptom. Super, super tired, like could not muster energy for anything. Like I basically went to bed and laid there like a lump and didn't feel bad about it for almost 10 days. They give you 10 days off, and thankfully I had a few like cushion days already off. So I pretty much hung out in my bed. I did have a temperature. I went and got a little temperature, that you stick on your head. And then I got a pulse oximeter thing to make sure my oxygen levels were good. Oxygen levels never went down. I never had any like variance in that, except for if I coughed a bunch and then I would put it on. Like that was kind of weird, but it went right back up. And my temperature was, I think it was like about 101.3 or something, which I've heard like whatever my temperature was like, is like very common. Like that seems to be like the temperature that a lot of people, especially vaccinated people, who do end up contracting COVID, feel that way. Get that temperature. So, that. And then I didn't really have an appetite, but I don't know if that was related to the fact that I couldn't taste anything. And it was super bizarre because every time I wanted to like eat something, I was like, I don't even care because I can't taste it. And like my husband was like, whoa, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just need to eat something. I think the day that I started to like feel better was the day we decided that we were gonna get dinner for my son's birthday. And so I was like trying to rally, and by the time we got there, I was just like, I don't feel good. I want to go lay down. Like I couldn't eat what I ordered. So that was near the end though. Like I was almost at I was like at 9 or 10 days at that point, but I was just still so tired. Every day at 1 o'clock, I would just be like, I need to go lay down and take a nap. And that was about all the energy I had, was to do a few things for when I couldn't work out. I just basically, I watched a lot of TV. Man, did I watch a lot of TV, a lot of weird things. So finally, like, I don't know, I think it was on day like probably 8 or 9, I started chugging water, chug, 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 chug. Like I drank so much water. And honestly, I think that's what helped turn me around was drinking all the water. So that was my biggest recommendation to anyone who does test positive. If you're not feeling well, drink a ton of water. I have not noticed anything else after the fact except my taste is a little off still. Like sometimes I'll bite into something and I'm like, I can't taste it. Or like I'll think I'm gonna smell like a perfume or lotion or something and it does not smell, at least not very strong. Like it's like a very faint smell. The other thing, I don't totally know that it's related, but it might be. We went to the Grand Canyon and went hiking, and the second hike we did, the second big hike, was a lot of really uphill, and I was like getting out of breath so fast. So I don't know if that's related because I didn't really notice a lot of lung issues when I had COVID, but it could still, be residual. Yeah, I don't think there's really, I haven't had any other residual like symptoms or, like some of these long haul COVID people who, got the illness early who are losing their hair. They just can't breathe. Like it's really heartbreaking to hear about that. And so I don't know if you're pro or anti-vax, but I have to say my experiences, I am glad I was vaccinated because it was pretty mild. I think I've had flus worse than that. And I don't know a lot of people who have gotten it and not felt terrible, like really been like run over by a truck terrible before vaccination. So that is my COVID story, y'all. If you have any questions or you want to know like any more about having it, I'm happy to share. I'm happy to answer questions. And so thankful that we have science and modern medicine and that I'm still working as a flight attendant, even though it is crazy stressful sometimes. But anyway, I am so appreciative of you guys watching and I hope you have a wonderful day.